breaking the story, he had said back in December, he and his attorney said, we are not taking any plea deals. Well, I guess when you start thinking about life in prison, that changes because he stood in court last week, turns out. Now, these documents were sealed until this morning. But he pled on January 23rd.
To all 9 charges.
9 counts, stood in court and pled guilty to racketeering, to conspiracy, firearms charges, and drug trafficking. And in doing so, spelled out in detail the crimes he committed as a member of the 9 Trey Bloods.
So what we want to tell you is what he said to the prosecutors in terms of giving information up about his cohorts, and also then we're going to tell you what it means to him and
in terms of his
sentence and his safety, because there are real issues here.
Yeah, this was like a scene out of Goodfellas. He sits up on, he's sitting telling the court in open court the things that he did. He said, I joined the 9 Trey Bloods on this particular date.
In 2017.
That's right, in 2017. On this particular date, I attempted to kill a rival gang member to increase my stature in the gang. On another date, we believe it's related to the Chief Keef shooting. He says that he paid someone to shoot at a rival. So that's the Chief Keef.
And he talks about where the shooting happened. He talks about, he says, he names the trigger man. He admits knowing that a fellow gang member was going to actually go and do this, which did happen in June.
You do realize what all this means, especially with gangs, that, and this happens with organized crime. I mean, everybody knows the deal here. So here's what the prosecutors have done.
Hold on, one thing we should say, because it's very relevant. This unsealing of the documents came the day after 3 other members of the gang were indicted. And we were told by law enforcement sources when we broke that story 2 days ago.
Because part of it is the information that Tekashi supplied.
He had named them.
So here's what has happened, and then we're going to get into the consequences here. That Tekashi faced 47 years minimum in prison. Based on everything I know, he is going to get significantly less than that as part of the deal.
You think single digits?
I think single digits, yes. Wow. Look, I don't know if it's single. It could be 15 years, which is a hell of a lot better than the other. Right. But it's going to be way less than what he could have gotten. So that's number one. Number two is his sentencing is a year away. And the reason it's a year away, it is the prosecution dangling a carrot saying, you have to continue to cooperate, which we know is part of the deal.
Right.
Continue to cooperate, and when you get to the end of the road, a year from now, we'll do you a solid.
So, if you're Tekashi and you hear that, you're like, okay, look, clearly at this point, he's just trying to minimize his time in prison, wants to get out, probably wants to be with his family. However, there's a part of this he's not thinking about,
Well, he may have thought about it. You have to calculate it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, hopefully for him he's calculated it, but if you are going to continue to help the prosecutors and continue to name other people involved in crimes,
you have a target on your head.
Exactly. The more, and by the way, now that's out in these documents that were unsealed. It's out that he is going to continue to cooperate.
Hey, let me tell you something. There's a takeaway from all of this.
Don't get involved in criminal activity.
Man, you kids don't play in the street. See all of this playing with no, seriously.
Yeah.
I don't wish this on anyone, no matter who they are or what they've done. To be in this situation, I don't wish this on anyone.
No, he's in an awful situation.
But for everybody else, I know that it looks like it's not real on the internet. I know it looks like it's not real on Twitter. I know it's real. Stop playing with this.
Yeah.
All of that stuff you hear on those records, all of that stuff is to sell more records. This dude is really in trouble from a legal standpoint and from a safety standpoint, because now he's got to look over his shoulder for the upcoming long future.
Well, and Van, I do think that part of this deal has to involve, and here's the problem with it, it's got to involve some kind of witness protection, security, but how does that guy...
You don't get witness protection with 6'9" on your face.
That's exactly the thing. It's like, well, how is this going to happen? How is it going to happen that
there would have to be a dramatic change made for him to be involved in any sort of witness protection? I don't even know how they would do that. Like,
stop playing.
Yeah, it is a tough situation he's in right now.
Hi, my name is Augie. I'm from Orlando, Florida. Honestly, I think this whole situation and how they're still glorifying him is just ridiculous. Like, it's obvious what he's done, and he should be put away for max.
He's not going to be put away for max, but he's in some peril here. And a little later in the show, we are going to have the mother of Tekashi's daughter on to get her reaction to this plea bargain and whether she feels that she and her daughter are now at risk. Okay, we are going to move on.
Yes, to Cardi B and Offset. And